oh, you like Star Wars, you like Naruto, you like One Piece. Like, there's those types of nerds, and then there's like, oh, I have a D&D tournament this Wednesday, every Wednesday for the rest of my life. There's those nerds, and there's a vast ocean between them.
I mean, yeah, the vast ocean is like being sexually active. Who makes the best husbands?
Black men.
Of course, black men do make the best husbands, but outside of race, they say nerds make the best husbands. This one.
Dang, I got double the success coming.
Well, you have like maybe 1 times, but if we're doing math, it's half.
Fuck you. 1.5 times. All right. Listen, that new Ahsoka series for Star Wars, that shit is banging.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, but hey.
What? Rosario Dawson's playing Ahsoka in the series. It's great. It's really good.
Shout out to Rosario Dawson, man. Is she still with Cory Booker?
I have no clue. Probably not. I mean, he got tired of his beard once that presidential run failed.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was bad. Yeah. Maybe the Democrats shouldn't have anyone else run. No, I'm kidding. They should. But yeah, this one girl, she put up a TikTok and she was like, it honestly blows my mind how we have this entire trope in American literature and movies and TV shows about the nerdy girl who gets to glow up when she grows up. But, we don't see that for nerdy men.
Because they don't glow up. Like, that's the problem. Like,
you say they don't glow up, but she says, hear me loud and clear. If he owns a lightsaber, green flag. That's glowing up, man. It's literally glowing up.
Yeah, that shit glows in the dark. That is sure. That is for sure.
Oh, man. She said she married the anime-loving, nerdy gamer boy. Wouldn't change it for the world. Another person said, yes, my husband is the biggest adorable nerd, man. Do you identify as a nerd? Because you said it. You said black man nerd. You getting a double. So
I mean, growing up, I'm sure you remember. I used to read all the time. I had books all the time throughout high school. Even prior to that, I was a big reader.
Does that make you a nerd though?
I think liking things that are outside of the mainstream, or sci-fi is a standard thing that kind of goes into that nerd category. Yeah. Reading is a nerd thing. Being smart, just in general, is viewed as like a nerdy thing. Like all these things are, I don't know.
Getting no bitches is another nerd.
That I disagree with. I think that that's why I say there's levels to it.
What levels of nerds get a lot of
there's the nerds that do all of those things, and they also just only are inside playing video games. They're only ever like talking to their friends about what new MCU movie is coming out or something like that. Like there's definitely different stages of this. Now,
and that's like what, like 90% of
like
nerds?
Sheltered, you go to Comic-Con multiple times, like those sorts of things. And no offense to anybody that does. Listen, I'm not throwing shade. But no. I would love to go to Comic-Con. I think that would be dope.
No, because you identify as a nerd, so you agree with
sure.
This. So do you see the correlation between being a good husband and being a nerd?
Oh, that I don't know if there's a good correlation, other than the fact that maybe nerds are more likely to be loyal and like the different things that go along with that, and the sort of the sheltered lifestyle that I feel like a lot of nerds have.
Yeah, Troy, would you consider yourself a nerd too?
Yeah, look at my socks.
You got the Sonic the Hedgehog.
You got
Sonic the Hedgehog socks. So yes, I do consider myself a nerd. I think nerds, especially now recently, being like into nerdy stuff is cool. Unfortunately, back in high school, it wasn't as cool. Reading anime, reading books, caring about like sci-fi and all that video game stuff wasn't as big as it is now. But I would consider myself a nerd for sure.
So you go to Comic-Con and you've been multiple times. I know you're going this year too. It's coming up soon. Are there girls there? And do you would it be a place if you're like single? I know you're in a very committed relationship, but if you were single, or would you recommend single guys to go there to pick up girls, or is it like a lot of dudes?
It's definitely girls too.
Definitely girls. Everyone's cosplaying and stuff, and you're with people who are into the same things that you're into. So if you see, like attractive people into like the same anime or same video games, or even like movies, TV shows, that's like your spot. So it definitely is a good place to find people who would be into the same stuff as you are.
Yeah, I think that a lot of women are like closet nerds or like behind the scenes into anime and stuff like that. And
a lot of women?
I think. All right, not a lot. Let me rephrase. Way more women than people think.
Okay.
Are into these things.
Okay.
Like I really am a strong believer in that.
I mean,
like how else would all these women be making so much money doing cosplay and all this other kind of stuff? And then they go to Comic-Con and they do these different events. Like there's a lot that are very invested in this stuff.
I mean, we see the one girl who's the NPC. I mean, she don't seem like much of a nerd, but she knows what she's doing to make money.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's suing whoever for her little leaked videos all over the internet now.
Her porn videos from OnlyFans.
Yeah, but I think that it's definitely something that's more widely accepted.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I used to think of myself as a nerd, like when I was younger, because I liked anime and video games and stuff. But I honestly stopped like once I, became an adult, started driving, and started having sex and stuff. So like,
why do those things mean that you got to put away what you're passionate about?
I mean, I stopped.
So you're just saying you stopped being, those other things replaced your previous passions. You can have the best of both worlds. You definitely can.
You can, but like for me, I was like, wow, this is way better. But honestly, like I'm not a husband. I'm not in a relationship at the moment. So maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe if I was more of a nerd, I'd be a better, candidate to be a husband. But since I kind of left that lifestyle, who knows? But,
yeah, I definitely think there's levels though. Like when you think about it, there's like, oh, you like Star Wars, you like Naruto, you like One Piece. Like there's those types of nerds, and then there's like, oh, I have a D&D tournament this Wednesday, every Wednesday for the rest of my life. There's those nerds, and there's a vast ocean between them.
I mean, yeah, the vast ocean is like being sexually active. Hey, shout out to the incels, man. They be in the comments all the time hating on a lot of what we say.
Oh, yeah. Let us know what you guys think about this. Are nerds worthy of being quoted and seen as the best husbands around?
I don't know, man. I don't think girls really like fucking nerds, yo. I think they're just lying. This one girl found the guy who's a little bit nerdy, but a guy, in this article who identifies as a nerd, he's like, I don't really look like a nerd. So a lot of girls, they'll look at me and they'll be like, oh, it's cute that you're a nerd. But he's like, they don't share any of the same interests. They don't give a fuck about, things I care about. But honestly, like, yeah, like, like, do you like? For me, it's just like I don't need that many shared interests to be in a relationship with the girl. I mean, honestly, a lot of the girls I've dated, we kind of share interests once we meet. It's just like, okay, if you really like someone, you want to be invested in us at a certain level to what they're interested in. Mm-hmm. And like for me, like, I used to be big into football. So it's funny, like, my ex, like, she got into football with me. And then when we broke up, I stopped watching football, and she's still a Cowboys fan. I think, I don't really know, we don't talk, but I see her with like her new man at Cowboys games. I'm like, oh shit, like that's me.
Or maybe she became a Cowboys fan and then found another one. That was the next boyfriend.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
who knows?
And also, like, the girls I've dated, I haven't watched like boxing and UFC with me, which a lot of women don't like. But I feel like I spend so much time with that. Like, you have to have some you have to be able to endure it a little bit, you know.
I feel you on that.
Like I like sci-fi.
That's what I tell Nat. I'm like, listen, you might not like this stuff, but I really like this stuff. You're gonna have to get used to it. This is the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't have to be everything, but you have to have a certain level of shared interest. Like Troy, I know you and Shannon both love horror films.
Yeah, yep. We just actually saw a horror movie yesterday called Satanic Hispanics.
What?
Yeah, it was actually really funny. No, I'm sorry, not funny. It was really good.
It sounds funny though.
Yeah, anthologies. So a whole bunch of different shorts. But yeah, no, our shared interests are like horror movies, like board games, and like Lord of the Rings. Like a little nerdy things here and there with both of us. But yeah,
it's good to have a nerdy overlap. You know, like it can't just be totally one-sided. I think that guy was just bitter, like you said.
Yeah.
But you need to have a little bit of overlap in any relationship. I feel like if you're too consumed in what you like, then it's going to be hard to have a relationship with anybody. So I think balance is good, and I think men and women kind of need each other when it comes to balance. A lot of these nerds need to get out the house. So women, if you guys really want to be about it, then get yourself a nerd.
Listen, Kim K wore a shirt at the Lakers game saying "I love nerds."
She's a liar. She's fucking OBJ right now.
OBJ might be a nerd. You don't know.
Get out of here, bro. Are you serious?
What? He could be into all the same things that nerds are
He's
into.
a football player. You can't be a nerdy football player.
That's not true at all.
Who is a nerdy football
If you listen to a lot of the guys in interviews, so many of them, all they do is go home, play football, and game. That's it. Like, that's their lives.
They're jocks, man. They're not nerds. There's a difference. American culture, man.
But the gaming culture, like a big piece of that falls into like the nerd category.
No, not when you play a sport professionally. You're not a nerd.
You can be a jock and a nerd. It's not like mutually exclusive. Like it's not. You can't.
Bro.
I'm serious.
You're a professional athlete. You're not claiming nerd too. I'm sorry.
All right.
I mean, we see football players' GPAs. Like, come on, you're not a nerd. Like, you can't have everything.
That's an unfair stereotype. Some of them are athletes, scholar athletes, whatever they call it. I don't know.
Let's be real. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify. Follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
All the apps. We're everywhere. We are everywhere.